Hello there, good morning. Welcome to News from here on GHOne Television. I am Joshua Kodjo Mensah. But before we kickstart, let me take you now to the Burma Hall, where President John Dramani Mahama is speaking at the launch of the National Cyber Security Month.
Office. I'm equally conscious of the threats it presents to our national security, our economy, and even our democracy. It is therefore appropriate that we utilize this month to revitalize our national resolve, strengthen partnerships, and renew our commitment to building a cyber-secure Ghana. Ladies and gentlemen, across the world, digitalization is transforming economies, governments, and societies. In Ghana, we observe its impact in how our farmers access weather information on their phones, how our students engage in online learning, how businesses reach their markets far beyond their traditional borders, and how government services are delivered with greater speed and transparency. Digitalization is not just an abstract idea, it is real. It influences how we live and work. It opens new opportunities for innovation, efficiency, and inclusion. But as with all revolutions, there are risks. The same technologies that empower us can also be exploited to disrupt economies, to manipulate information, steal people's identities, or even compromise critical national infrastructure. Cyber threats today are more complex and more dangerous than ever before. They are borderless, they are invisible until it's too late, and they evolve every day. Recent studies highlight the seriousness of this issue. The International Monetary Fund's April 2024 Global Financial Stability Report revealed that over the past 2 decades, 20% of all reported cyber incidents worldwide have targeted the financial sector, resulting in direct losses exceeding $12 billion. Since 2020 alone, cyber-related losses are estimated to be over $2.5 billion. These are staggering figures. They reflect not just lost money, but lost trust, lost jobs, and in some cases, lost lives. Ghana is not immune. We too have encountered cyber fraud cases, phishing attacks, identity theft, and other digital crimes that harm individuals and businesses alike. As we expand digital public services and mobile money usage, we must reinforce the systems that safeguard them. And this is why, under the Reset Ghana agenda, my administration has prioritized digital transformation as a key part of our national development policy. And cybersecurity is at the core of that transformation. When I took office in January this year, I promised the Ghanaian people that we will develop a modern, inclusive, and secure digital economy. That promise continues to guide my work today. Let me emphasize 4 flagship initiatives already in progress. The first is the 1 Million Coders program. I launched this program in April of this year. This initiative aims to train 1 million young Ghanaians in digital skills, including coding, software engineering, data analytics, and cybersecurity. Already, pilot projects in Greater Accra, Ashanti, Bono, and Upper East region are equipping thousands of our youth with tools that prepare them not just for jobs today, but jobs of the future. The second is the Digital Jobs Initiative. This is a public-private partnership aimed at creating sustainable employment opportunity through technology. We're establishing regional digital centers for business process outsourcing and ICT parks to promote innovation in artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, and digital entrepreneurship. A key project under this initiative is the redevelopment of the Dawa ICT Park into a global center of excellence. The third is the FinTech Growth Fund. We've set aside $50 million to support indigenous startups and foster a vibrant digital finance ecosystem. We want Ghanaian innovators to develop solutions for Ghanaian challenges and also expand them across Africa. The fourth is the 24-hour economy. Beyond being a job creation strategy, this initiative is also about digital resilience. A 24-hour economy means round-the-clock operations. It requires secure systems, constant monitoring, and robust cybersecurity protocols to ensure that businesses, banks, hospitals, and that is why, in accordance with the Cybersecurity Act 2020, Act 1038, I'll today inaugurate the Joint Cybersecurity Committee, the JCC. The JCC brings together representatives from across all our security and intelligence sectors to collaborate closely with the Cybersecurity Authority. Its purpose is to ensure coherence, coordination, and proactive measures in our national defense against cyber threats. This is a vital step. Cybersecurity must not be fragmented. It demands unity of purpose, a clear strategy, and disciplined education. Cybercrime ignores borders. A hacker in one country can breach systems halfway across the world within seconds. And that is why Ghana cannot act alone. We must collaborate with the rest of the world. We're already signatories to the Malabo Convention and the Budapest Convention on Cybercrime. These frameworks enhance our ability to cooperate internationally and align our laws with global standards. This landmark treaty equips us with new tools. This October, Ghana will take another historic step. We'll ratify and sign the United Nations Convention on Cybercrime. This treaty equips us with new tools to investigate attacks, prosecute cyber criminals, and protect critical information infrastructure. Notably, Ghana has led efforts to include provisions against online child sexual exploitation and has emphasized the importance of applying international human rights law in cyberspace. Moreover, Ghana has also adopted the Pall Mall Process Code of Practice, which helps countries address the misuse of commercial cyber intrusion capabilities. As a result, we'll reinforce licensing systems, certify professionals, and approve cybersecurity products to ensure a secure and transparent environment. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, all these efforts, programs, institutions, treaties will fail if our people are not informed and vigilant. The truth is simple and straightforward. Our citizens are our first line of defense. This Awareness Month is therefore about our people. It is about ensuring every Ghanaian, from the child at school to the trader in the market, from the banker in the city to the farmer in the village, is to ensure they understand the risks of the digital world and know how to stay safe. Through school-based curricula, community training, and public awareness campaigns like the beautiful drama you just watched, we are demystifying cybersecurity. We are demonstrating to our people that a simple click can have consequences, and that vigilance online is as important as vigilance as you walk on our streets. Cybersecurity is everyone's business. Our duty as government is to provide clear policies, strong institutions, and enforcement. The private sector's duty must invest in cyber resilience and protect consumers' data. Civil society must advocate responsibly, educating and holding governments and institutions accountable. And for our citizens, they must stay informed and alert on every occasion. If we all can do our duty together, we can build a cyber-resilient Ghana. Ladies and gentlemen, the risks are real, but the opportunities are greater. If we act wisely, decisively, and inclusively, Ghana can be a continental leader in secure digital innovation. And let us all remember, digitalization without security is unsustainable. Innovation without responsibility is dangerous. And opportunity without inclusion is unjust. And so what we seek to build is not just a digital economy, but a digital society, one that is safe, is inclusive, and is accountable. A Ghana that is connected and protected. A Ghana that empowers its youth, supports its businesses, and secures its cyberspace for its citizens. This is the vision of the Reset Ghana agenda. It is a vision of progress with protection, innovation with integrity, and inclusion with justice. And with your support, we will achieve this vision together. And so, it is now my singular honor to declare the 2025 National Cybersecurity Awareness Month officially launched. May God bless us all, and may God bless our homeland, Ghana. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Please do not take...
So that's John Dramani Mahama, president of the land, launching the National Cybersecurity Awareness Month at the Burma Hall. But let's look at some other headlines this morning. Woes of disgraced assistant headmaster of KNUST-SHS deepens as gender minister calls for his immediate arrest. Also, coalition of textile workers urge government to urgently renegotiate renewal of African Growth and Opportunity Act, which expired on September 30. Alarming rates of road carnage along the Kaswa-Bogyase stretch sparks fear across communities. In business, traders at Nima markets express diverse views on Agric Minister's submission that food prices have become more affordable. And elsewhere, thousands of federal workers face unpaid leave as U.S. government. Details of these stories and more. Now, the Ministry for Gender, Children and Social Protection says it is collaborating with the Ghana Police Service for the arrest of the disgraced assistant headmaster of KNUST-SHS, Charles Akwesi Edu. Mr. Edu was dismissed by the Ghana Education Service after a video of him touching a student inappropriately emerged on social media. Gender Minister Agnes Namu-Molati says the dismissal is not enough. She spoke to the media during a working visit by Vice President Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman. Let's get more from our reporter following the Vice President's visits, Obed King-Gaglo. So, Obed, talk to me about really the stance of the Gender Minister on this matter. She says what? The sacking is not enough? Hello, Obed, can you hear me? Hello, Obed? Well, we seem to be struggling with the line to Obed King-Gaglo, but let's see if we have a very clear line. Now, Obed, can you hear me? Well, it looks like we're struggling to get Obed King-Gaglo, but let's check and see. Yes, Obed.
Minister.
Obed, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Joshua.
Fantastic. So talk to me about the Gender Minister's position on the matter.
Right. So a while ago, the Vice President, Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman, paid a courtesy visit to the Ministry of Gender, Social Protection, Children and Social Protection, I must say, to familiarize herself with workings in the ministry. And during the call, Gender Minister Dr. Na Momu Lati made mention of the fact that the issue that happened recently with regards to the assistant headmaster of KNUST Senior High School, the Ashanti region, has been dismissed. But that will not be enough. She is calling for the arrest of the assistant headmaster. And so the ministry, in collaboration with the Ghana Police Service, will work to arrest the dismissed assistant headmaster of KNUST Senior High School. So Joshua, that's the call by the Gender Minister, Dr. Agnes Namohulat. Apart from that call, the Vice President, who also visited the ministry, also called for greater collaboration in terms of protecting young ladies against abuse, sexual exploitation. So basically, Joshua, that has been the happenings here at the Ministry of Gender, Social Protection, Children and Social Protection.
Absolutely. Obed King-Aglo, thank you so much for giving us updates on that situation there. So it's clear what the Gender Minister is calling for is the arrest of the assistant headmaster of KNUST Senior High School. She believes that just let him off work alone is not enough. There needs to be some punitive measures attached as well. And we'll keep an eye on this particular development and let you know how the story evolves. But away from that, textile workers in the country are hopeful the current administration will reach with the government for a possible extension of the African Growth and Opportunity Act, AGOA. The AGOA, which was set up in 2000 to assist economies of sub-Saharan Africa and to improve economic relations between the United States and the region, expired on September 30, 2025. Sector players believe the expiration will further burden Ghanaian exporters, especially in the wake of the 15% tariff slapped on imports from Ghana by the U.S. Seth Mawunyega is chairman of the Coalition of Textile Workers, and he believes government needs to engage the U.S. on the matter.
It's unfortunate that the agreement has come to an end. As other speakers have stated, it's going to be a bit of worry to the industry. However, we are confident in our government that it will start the negotiation to renew the agreement. So we in the industry are a bit worried, but we still hope that even as the government is able to resolve this visa restriction, and for the benefit of Ghanaians, we also pray that they will, negotiate for a new agreement for the assignment.
Right, so that's the plea from the sector players. But trade expert Louis Yaafo has assured that the expiration of AGOA will have no significant impact on Ghana's economy, dispelling fears of potential disruptions to trade and growth. Now, speaking to Star News, Mr. Yaafo urged stakeholders not to panic, but rather focus on enhancing competitiveness and value addition to ensure long-term resilience in the global market.
Explore the other Africa countries. As the president said in his 80th anniversary UN speech, I believe we have a huge untapped market between Africa countries. So in absence of this AGOA agreement, we will push our management to really look at other Africa countries that we can explore. If we get the opportunity to sell our products to other countries, we may survive.
Well, let's turn our attention to some other stories this morning. And the Kaswa-Bojas Road, once hailed as a project of progress and development, has now become a death trap, allegedly recording an average of 3 accidents every week since its completion. The alarming rate of road carnage along the Kaswa-Bojas stretch has sparked fear across communities, leaving families torn apart by grief and survivors grappling with trauma and loss. Our Central Regional correspondent has more in this report.
Kodjo Road was completed under the Kodjo's administration. Since its completion, there has been a deadly road accident claiming the lives of many, putting others in a wheelchair. GHOneNews travel 10 kilometers away from Kaswa to Okrunkwanta to speak to some drivers and those who ply the road.
Kaswa to Kodjo point. There be a Quenchia, of course, when you motor a car, you motor a car, into a car. A pound of wine fine, but once here in this, into Kano Park, and once a walk was a bit national band center, it's Renanka, one can and yank or make cannot 1 year speed ramps and my. By the man is a speed ramps with a motor phone on dances to junction because every week piano, Anya Prano 3 times accidents, 8 missing, and 4 times accidents, 8 missing. Sraba say obey speed ramp the motor phone on chances to chances speed and no because they come and to mitigate or reduce the rampant road accidents on the Kaswa Kodjo Road. Okada drivers and truck drivers who ply the road are calling on the government to fix a speed ramp as a matter of urgency to eliminate the continuous road accidents on this stretch.
So Banahini there from the Central Region with that report. Now, the Minister for the Interior, Mubarak Mohamed Muntaka, has revealed that Ghana's gun registration process remains fully manual, posing significant challenges for both applicants and law enforcement. The minister explained that acquiring a firearm license involves several cumbersome steps, including writing directly to the Interior Minister, background checks by the National Investigations Bureau or the Police CID, fingerprinting and fee payments. Now, the minister mentioned these when he appeared before the Public Accounts Committee on Tuesday.
One of the challenges that we have is that everything is manual. Everything that they do is manual. So, for example, you want to possess a sidearm. You write to the Minister for the Interior. I minute it to the NIB, that's the National Investigation Bureau, or the CID. They will do a background check on the chair and see, oh, what does she do? She's a member of parliament. Is she a threat to the public? If she holds this gun, they will do all that check, and then they will advise the minister that, oh, upon our checks, we think that she qualifies to have it. But because then now you go to the CID office, they will take your fingerprint, they will record all those things, and then you pay the necessary fees, and then they grant you the license. The interesting thing that a lot of people don't know is that you may take your license in November. In December, it expires. It's not that for 1 year means until next year, November. The law is such that January, every license that you have, even if you held it, if you had it 30th December, January 1st, it expires. You have to renew it. But because all these things are manual, so we want to digitalize this. And by the grace of God, when we are done by the close of, worst case, by the close of the year, all these things will be digitalized, and it will give people the opportunity to do the renewal online without necessarily having to walk to the police headquarters. The only thing is that if there's a criminal record over the period, if you want to renew, it may deny you, and that may warrant that you now come physical. But it also helps us now, even if you change the address, because we are going to link it to your Ghana card.
Well, still on the matter, the Inspector General of Police, IGP Christian Tete Yohuno, has sought to dispel concerns about bureaucratic delays in the police's administrative processes, particularly regarding gun regulation. Now, he assured the Public Accounts Committee that firearm license renewal is remarkably swift. Appearing before the committee alongside the heads of other services, as well as the Minister for the Interior, the IGP responded to queries raised by the PAC chair, Mrs. Abnose Asare, concerning the efficiency and management of processes within the service.
To register a gun means that you have to be given the license or the permit to possess a gun through this firearms registry. So when you have this gun, you are given the permit to be in possession, just like how you get driver's license permit. So you have it for a period of 1 year. And so after a year, you have to go back and then renew your license. But the problem we have is that people don't actually go straight to go and renew their licenses until something happens with the gun before police gets to know that such a license holder has not renewed.
Is the process straightforward? You know, sometimes people are reluctant to do some of these things because of the heckling, the pressures. So is the process straightforward that I have to go to this office, I show, just like you're going to get a driver's license, you go through the test, your eye, and so is the process given, and is the process that straightforward?
Yes, one of the easiest license or renewals to possess is the possession of the renewal of your gun license. It doesn't take you more than 30 minutes to go to this office, firearms office, and immediately they check all the records, and then the license is renewed. That one doesn't take time at all. It's one of the easiest way to possess and then renew your license or your permit to possess firearms.
And one of the things that came out from that PAC meeting yesterday was the increase in inmates' fee from 1 cedi 80 pesos to 5 cedis per day. Well, Inmates Assistance Group, Crime Check Foundation, has described the latest feeding grant increment for prisoners as inadequate. The feeding fee for inmates has been increased from 1 cedi 80 pesos to 5 Ghana cedis. Director General for the Ghana Prison Service, Patience Bafobone, disclosed the increment when she appeared before the Public Accounts Committee of Parliament.
10 Ghana cedis and were granted 5. And after the consultations, President actually instructed that the amount should be increased to 5 cedis. And that's an amount of 10 million, which was supposed to cover the last quarter of the year, was to be released. But it is yet to be released, even though the approval has been given. And I also want to put on record that reference to the question of how we have managed the 1 cedi 80 pesos. I have to mention that the 1 cedi 80 pesos, in actual fact, is not the amount that is even used to feed the inmates, because the food is supplied by contractors who also take their profit from same. So practically we are feeding 1 cedi. And so as a directorate, we have come together to bring about a project we call the Director General Kitchen Support Project. And in that project, all prison facilities across the country are supposed to have gardens, a small fish pond, a poultry or something related to animal husbandry, which is supposed to support same. What we need now is the amount to be released for this last quarter. And efforts are being made to get the money into our account.
Well, so that's the confirmation from the head of the prison service. But let's speak to Ibrahim Kwatin, who is founder for Crime Check Foundation. Ibrahim, thank you for joining us. Now, you mentioned that the increase from 1 cedi 80 pesos to 5 cedis is still woefully inadequate. Talk to me about that.
Right. As you listen to the Director General of the Ghana Prison Service, they're not even using the 1 cedi 80 pesos. Rather, it's 1 cedi. Now, let's look at the arithmetic. 5 Ghana cedis. If you were given 5 Ghana cedis, for 3 square meals a day, there would be no positive headway. 5 cedis cannot buy anything, and I'm sure you agree with me. And so if government had said, okay, we are giving you 5 cedis, but we are expanding agricultural production in the prisons, we are giving you combined harvesters, we are giving you tractors. Don't forget that the prison service have large tracts of land. If you look at the Utukam prison, they even have a dam that could produce vegetables all year round. Go to Osan Krum prison, they have large tracts of land. Go to other prisons across the country. Let's go to Nsawam. And so what government should have done, if we would accept the 5 cedi, is to have complemented it with other interventions that would boost agricultural production. But as it stands now, 5 cedis, as you and I know, is woefully inadequate. About a month ago, we handed over a poultry project to the Nsawam female prison as part of our contribution towards the Ghana Prison Service. And you rightly heard the Director General of Prison saying that he's come up with the DG's kitchen support initiative. What we should be doing is that if we continue to pay lip service with the way prisoners should be handled. We should see them as part of a larger, project contributing to economic development. But if we should see them as carceral individuals who have committed crimes, and so just give them a pittance, then it's not going to help in their reformation and rehabilitation.
Right, Ibrahim.
And let's also not forget that we're away from a punitive theoretical frameworks to reformation and rehabilitation of enemies. So that is something that government should consider and increase the fee or complement it with other interventions aimed at boosting agricultural production in the prison.
I mean, duly noted, and you and I know that 5 cedis is woefully inadequate, but there are others who say that looking at where we've come from, 1 cedi 80 pesos, a jump to 5 cedis should be commendable, and then perhaps we should give the government its flowers and not be making the more demands right now.
Absolutely. So we are also giving government the flowers. That is why I started by saying that we should congratulate government, because for the past 10, 12 years, it has not been increased. So don't get me wrong. What I'm saying is that much as it is appreciable, it is still insignificant, because if we should, put it within the contextual economic bracket. That is why I asked that rhetorical question. What would 5 cedis do? That is it. It buys nothing.
Right.
So it's 1 cedi 66 pesos in the morning, 1 cedi 66 pesos probably in the afternoon, 1 cedi 66 pesos in the evening for supper. So question is, what would 1 cedi 66 pesos do? Absolutely nothing.
And that's why
you go to buy cocoa with 1 cedi 66 pesos.
And that's why you believe
to buy virtually nothing. So that is the argument that.
Right. And that's where you believe that government should also bring in machines to help these prisoners cultivate on their vast lands to be able to supplement their feeding.
Absolutely. Instead of warehousing them, they are being warehoused. You commit a crime that you are told that you are going in with hard labor, IHL. So what is the hard labor? We understand that we've moved away from punitive regimes to reformation and rehabilitation. So we have to put it in context.
Okay.
So if it is about their reformation and rehabilitation, what should we do to ensure that our prisons become purely correctional institutions? That is what we should be looking at.
Right.
And I think there should have been proper engagement.
Right.
The Director General said that the President said that at least it should be moved to 5 cedi Ghana. I think that is unfortunate. That is unfortunate. There should be proper stakeholder engagement to ensure that we make contributions that will take into cognizance certain variables that will inure to the benefit of inmates.
Very well. Ibrahim, thank you so much for engaging with us. That's Ibrahim Oponkwati. He is founder of Crime Check Foundation. Let's do some other stories now. And confusion has rocked the Eastern Region Police Service after large quantities of sacks suspected to be Indian hemp intercepted in Sekeswa, Upper Menya Krobo district mysteriously turned into sawdust while in police custody. The incident occurred on Tuesday, September 30, 2025, when 3 police officers from the Eastern Regional Command, acting on intelligence, stopped a Hyundai 5-ton truck with registration number ER76023 at dawn. The truck, reportedly carrying large quantities of sacks suspected to be Indian hemp, was directed to the Sekeswa police station. Now, upon arrival, the Aseswa District Police Commander, Superintendent Francis Aka, suddenly appeared at the police station. Eyewitnesses say he ordered the arrest of the 3 patrol officers for operating in his jurisdiction without notice. He also forced them to delete photos and videos of the operation. However, one officer had already forwarded video evidence to another phone as backup before the deletions. The footage reportedly captured the suspects, identified as Sule, Abubakar, and Sadat, admitting that the sacks contained Indian hemp being transported from Akating to Agogo on the instructions of a man referred to only as Alhaji in Accra. The unusual twist deepened when the Eastern Regional Police Operations Commander, ASP Kofi Ochiri, rushed to Asasawa to secure the release of his men. Though the officers were eventually released to be detained in Koforidua for their statements to be taken, Superintendent Aka refused to hand over the intercepted truck, insisting he would personally deliver it to the Eastern Regional Police Commander, DCOP Chumesi Ankra. Now, shockingly, by the time the truck was brought to the Regional Police Headquarters, the contents had turned into sawdust with only some small quantities of Indian hemp. Apamenya Krobo district is notorious for marijuana farming. Some residents concerned about the phenomenon have accused the local police of taking bribes to facilitate the smuggling of the substance in large quantities to other parts of the country. Now, they want the IGP to take keen interest and investigate the latest incidents. Now, let's move to some health stories. Very, very important because as Ghana advances in its quest to combat cervical cancer through a single-dose HPV vaccination, the World Health Organization is encouraging the general public to embrace the vaccines as they have proven to offer the best approach to eliminating cervical cancer. There's more from a joint workshop organized by the World Health Organization and the Ghana Health Service ahead of the vaccination exercise.
From the 7th of October 2025, Ghana will begin a nationwide single-dose HPV vaccination of girls between the ages of 9 and 14 years. The vaccination targets the human papilloma virus known to cause cervical cancer in women. Statistics show that about 2,000 lives are lost annually in Ghana to cervical cancer, deaths which could easily be prevented if detected early. Speaking at a joint workshop organized by the World Health Organization and the Ghana Health Service, Country Director of the WHO, Dr. Fiona Braka, encouraged early detection through screening to avoid deaths. She also assured of the safety of the HPV vaccines with a call on all to embrace the upcoming exercise.
We know that we have challenges with access to screening and treatment. And given these limitations in screening and treatment, this vaccine offers us the best hope we have to eliminate cervical cancer. Ghana's approach, which is going to include targeting girls between 9 to 14 years of age, it follows global best practice.
On her part, manager of the expanded program on immunization at the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Selom Kuchwati, noted every nook and cranny of the country will be covered in the 5-day vaccination exercise, after which plans are advanced to introduce the vaccine into routine immunization.
And for this campaign, we are targeting almost 2.5 million girls. And then doing the routine immunization, we are looking at about 440,000 girls subsequently. And we are going to catch up from 10. So ideally, from the campaign, we should immediately move to routine, which should be for 9 years alone. But what we know is that even with what we are planning, some girls 10 to 14 may not come during the campaign period. So we will do catch up for those girls for a period of time. And depending on when we are able to see the numbers going down, then we'll stop the catch up. And we are doing, as you said, age-based. Even for the girls who are out of school, we're also going to be doing the age-based. So we know we've already identified the areas where we'll find those out-of-school girls. And we'll go and meet them there and then immunize them based on their age.
Cervical cancer is the second most common cancer in Ghana, causing devastation to families and leaving communities in despair. Currently, 194 countries globally have adopted HPV vaccination to stem the tide, with Ghana expected to also embrace the vaccines to eliminate deaths associated with cervical cancer by 2030.
Is brought to you by Compu Ghana, passion for technology.
Leaders at Nima Market have expressed diverse views on the submission by the Minister of Food and Agriculture, Eric Opoku, that food prices in the country have become more affordable. The minister in an interview attributed the development to a drop in food inflation from 24.8% to 14.8%. Nana Yao Asari visited the market to pick the thoughts of traders and consumers. Listen.
For Food and Agriculture, Eric Opoku, has indicated that food is now less expensive and very affordable. Here at the Nima market, this is what some traders and customers have to say.
Sesiano, Oma Yusukutokunu, first 7 million, Sesia about 6 million. And Tiasunia, local, and Yama, or local, first 25, Sesia 20 cities. Nti ebi wo honye manu ebi wo ni boy high ebi wo so ni boy form
eduane de ne boy for there but enye ni nyina ebi mu na aba form kakra ena ya ye old stocks no so ni aba form no e ma ya ho kire kakra because o older e boy ya te so to oba obeka se wo so te so to beto so aton sa
eduane ne boy no de am say that my form say de o mo kanu no de e ma form first say kabare say e ba say ya but see ano e bonnet brodia pra de enye pra ban then nam said that man from. For GHOneNews, Nana Yao Ofe Asari, Accra.
Now, the Chief Executive of the Youth Employment Authority, Malik Basintale, is encouraging Ghanaians to switch from the use of charcoal produced from wood to use of charcoal produced from coconut husk. According to him, the move will save the country 14.9 million tons of trees felled for charcoal and firewood and create sustainable alternative livelihoods for the youth. He made this remark during the signing of a memorandum of understanding to train 2,000 youth in the production of clean charcoal produced from coconut husk.
Mentalist group Arucha Ghana loses 2% of its forest cover annually to deforestation, mainly due to large-scale extraction of wood for charcoal production. Additionally, about 26 million citizens remain at risk due to their dependence on traditional cooking fuels such as charcoal and firewood, a growing threat to both public health and environment. To end this, the Youth Employment Authority has signed a memorandum of understanding with GHOne Company Limited to train 2,000 young Ghanaians in producing charcoal from coconut husk. The initiative, according to the Chief Executive Officer of the Youth Employment Authority, Malik Basintale, is part of a broader strategy to phase out charcoal produced from wood.
Every Ghanaian who finds coconut husks out there should pile them up and bring them. Our trainees will buy it and use it to produce charcoal. So this is going to create a lot of indirect jobs.
He added that the initiative will also create both direct and indirect jobs for Ghanaians.
We should ban any truck we see loaded with charcoal that has not been made or that was not made from coconut husks. It should be arrested. And if I would speak to His Excellency the President, that is something I believe if we tell him even today, he will pass it today.
Chief Executive Officer for GHOne Company Limited, Amin Sule Abubakar, also disclosed that the use of coconut husk, a byproduct of Ghana's coconut industry, will not only provide cleaner charcoal, but also tackle the problem of coconut husk littering on Accra streets and beaches.
Waste that we use, not the product itself. So even when the product itself is not in session, the waste is still available for us to use. So there is a sustainable, continuous availability of raw material. So once there's a raw material to be used, there's a job to be created.
By switching to coconut husk-based charcoal, the partnership aims to cut down the harmful emission created when wood charcoal burns. It will also help in preserving Ghana's tree cover and improve respiratory health, especially for women who are most exposed during cooking.
Well, that's your business this afternoon. Time to bring you sports.
The Business Brief was brought to you by CompuGhana, passion for technology.
And you're welcome on to sports, where Ghana's Black Stars have reached the final of the ongoing Waffle Zone B Championship following their semi-final win over Nigeria yesterday. The Black Stars scored twice in the opening half of the game to ensure they advanced at the expense of the Nigerian counterpart. Now, Ogum's side continued their dominance and authority in the game as they held on after the recess to seal a 2-0 victory and qualifying for the final of the tournament. And that means as well that the Stars have now qualified for the AFCON Championship at the youth level after having secured the qualification over Nigeria in the game yesterday. Good news there for Ghana, securing a spot for next AFCON for the 17 level. Let's go on to arm wrestling. Our president of African Arm Wrestling Federation in Ghana, Charles Osei, has commended the Golden Arms for clinching 3 medals at the World Championships. It described the achievement as a proud moment for Ghana and a sign of sports rapid growth in the country.
Look at the performances from the various African countries. The Malian guys who came, the guys from Benin, the guys from Egypt, the guys from South Africa. Everybody who sat with me, in fact, at the board level, they were surprised because this year was super for Africa. Wow. To have Benin win medal, to have Egypt win medal, to have South Africa win medal, to have Mali. Africa did so well, and Africa has come of age. The biggest challenge is that we do not have the support of the various governments. That is our challenge. But I know that the very moment we begin to get the support of our governments, we will do better than what we are doing today. Egypt is being supported by their government. Benin, we nurtured them, we sponsored them, we trained them. Now they are being supported by their government. Nigeria is being supported by their government. I can't say that about Ghana.
Charles hinted that he might quit arm wrestling in 2027 if changes are not made. Decision as a result of a lack of support for the sport, notwithstanding achievements they've achieved so far in the past 2 years.
From our pockets, we won't give up, but I have considered a lot of things. Maybe after 2027, if nothing changes, I'll quit arm wrestling.
I was just going to ask you what's the future looking like.
We want to again represent Ghana during the African Games, and we are working towards it. It takes lobbying, it takes investment, it takes travel.
Yes.
Nobody cares. Because arm wrestling is mine, maybe. Nobody cares. But when we win the medals, it will be counted in the name of Ghana.
And that's your sports. My name is Benjamin Yamwa.
Well, let's do some more stories here this afternoon. And tourism is one of the world's biggest industries, driving over 10% of global GDP. In Africa, Kenya is famous for its safari destinations, and Ghana is beginning to carve its own niche. Now, in the Bono region, natural tourism is emerging as a powerful tool for jobs, growth, and sustainability.
The Bono region, home to over 1 million people, is fast emerging as a hub for natural tourism. Surrounded by diverse natural and cultural attractions, the region boasts a wide array of tourism potential, from scenic landscapes and wildlife to historical sites and cultural festivals. Despite its many treasures, only a few of the many beautiful gifts from nature have been developed to generate revenue for the region. Attractions like the Kentampo waterfalls continue to draw visitors. In just the first quarter of 2024, more than 8,200 tourists visited the site, generating over 100,000 cedis in revenue. At the World Tourism Day celebration in the Bono region, the Ghana Tourism Authority placed a spotlight on natural tourism as a key driver of growth.
The reason why we are here is to see the ostriches. There are so many ostriches farms dotted around the Bono region. We have Guasidan Monkey Sanctuary, and we also have a canopy walkway. So we have so many things in the region, but we want to take you to other wild animals you can also still feel. The ostrich is one of the fastest running birds, and you can also sit on it, and it will run with you.
The event, held at the Control Ostrich Farm, brought together students, journalists, and officials for guided tours showcasing the region's natural resources.
I've seen an ostrich physically with my real eyes. And so there are other places in your recreation. Don't just sit in Accra. Don't just sit in Kumasi. Don't just sit in Tamale, any other place. Don't just sit anywhere. You just have a sight of something which you haven't seen before.
Tour guides have been explaining the vision and challenges of running the farm.
The motive is to create tourist attraction and make natural things visible to people.
Excited head teacher of Glory Daycare Preparatory School and students shared their experience.
And this is the first time of seeing a turtle. So I've not seen some before. But my school has come here before, but this is the first time of coming here.
Joining them?
Yeah, joining them.
What you visited today?
This year, the ostrich, no, I've learned some in books, but now I've seen it with my naked eye. So I know how they behave and then how they are doing.
With proper investments in ecotourism and community-based projects, the Bono region could become one of Ghana's strongest natural tourism destinations.
Well, let's take flights out of Ghana and check out what is happening else. This government has shut down for the first time in almost 7 years after members workers could now be furloughed or laid off, and national parks and museums could close. Previous government shutdowns have also led to air travel disruption due to staff shortages. Now the path forward is unclear as both sides have blamed the other for the shutdown. Efforts in the Senate to keep the government funded fell short late on Tuesday despite frenetic negotiations. President Donald John Trump has threatened mass firings and the cutting of some federal benefits that he said were important to Democrats. Well, that's all in the package here for Newsroom. There's more news for you at starfm.com.gh. I am Joshua Kodjo Mensah. Good afternoon.